Some good news. We had a great Supreme Court victory, 5-4, so it was a close one, on election integrity. The left was challenging the results of a settlement by Judicial Watch with the state of Ohio. We had sued Ohio a few years ago with True to Vote, another election watchdog group, over the state of Ohio's failure to clean up their election rolls. What happens is the federal law requires states to take reasonable steps to make sure election rolls are clean, and that wasn't taking place in Ohio because you had more people on the rolls than were eligible to vote, which is a pretty good indication they're not doing their job. So we, Judicial Watch, filed the first private lawsuits both against Indiana and Ohio to enforce that step or that requirement that the federal law has that states take reasonable steps to clean up the election rolls. Because as you imagine, the Obama Justice Department had zero interest in that because the left and their political allies want to be able to steal elections if necessary. And dirty election rolls can mean dirty elections. So the left challenged the end of the settlement agreement, or in our case in Ohio. In Ohio, they agreed to send out one supplemental mailing. And the mailing was sent to people who I believe hadn't voted in the prior 2 years. Saying you hadn't voted, send this card back, let us know you're still there. And if the card isn't sent back, and that voter does not vote in the next 4 years, Ohio removes them from the rolls. It doesn't mean they can't vote again, it just means they need to re-register or file provisional ballots when they show up to vote. Well, the left doesn't like that at all. As I said, they challenged that, and the Supreme Court upheld that law. Because Ohio was applying federal law that specifically envisions mailings like that. And so it's great news in the sense other states may be spurred on to do similar types of efforts to clean up their election rolls as well. So it's a great victory on behalf of those of us concerned about election integrity. The professional left is obsessed with this issue. It's a great victory institutionally because it upholds this key case that Judicial Watch has pursued. Now, in the Ohio litigation that the Supreme Court decided, we had filed many, many amicus briefs, so I'm sure that had an impact as well. But it was our efforts that were upheld by the Supreme Court today to make sure that elections are clean in Ohio. So we should take some great credit for that institutionally, obviously, and those of you who are supporting us, thank you for doing that. But Judicial Watch isn't resting on its laurels. We're keeping on pushing on this issue. We have litigation in Kentucky that I think is going to result in some good things over their failure to clean up the election rolls. And we're in the middle of tough litigation in California on the issue. We're suing California and Los Angeles because that statewide in Los Angeles particularly, they got more people on the rolls than are living and eligible to vote. In fact, in California, it looks like they never take you off the rolls. They simply just leave you there forever, which obviously does not comply with the federal requirement you take reasonable steps to clean up the election rolls. As I said, the left is focused on this like a laser. All these Soros groups are interested in intervening in Judicial Watch's litigation in California. You have all these left-wing groups that challenged it, our litigation result in Ohio. They hate voter ID. They hate states cleaning up the rolls. They keep on calling it purges, implying some nefarious activity when in fact they're just trying to make sure the rolls are accurate, which is what I think every American expects. So this is a big battle. And remember, this decision was 5-4. So just one more vote, you would have had this crazy decision come out that a state complying with federal law was violating the rights of their voters by removing them from the rolls after they're not voting or responding to state inquiries for 6 years.